You lie down, and the noise begins. Not the noise from outside, the one from within. That conversation you've had 1,000 times with someone who isn't even in the room anymore. That decision you made 3 years ago that still wakes you up at 2 in the morning. That mistake you chew on, swallow, just and chew on again. You call this thinking, but it isn't. Thinking leads somewhere. What you do at night leads nowhere. You spin in circles in the dark and wake up exhausted from a journey that went absolutely nowhere. There is a difference between the mind that examines anar and the mind that devours itself. And that difference changes everything. The sleep industry wants to sell you silence. Is rain sounds, your 432 hertz music, a soft voice telling you to relax your shoulders, and maybe you fall asleep. But the problem is still there, intact, waiting for you to wake up, because the problem isn't that you can't sleep. The problem is that you don't know what to do with what happened during the day. Seneca wrote something that most people will never read. He said, "When the light goes out and my wife is already asleep, Gershar, I review the entire day. I omit nothing, I skip nothing. Why hide from myself what I can correct? This isn't meditation. This isn't relaxation. It's an examination, an internal tribunal, where you are judge, defendant, and witness at the same time." The Stoics didn't run from the day that had passed. They faced it, quietly, in the dark, hours before sleep. But to understand why this works, you need to understand what rumination really is, and why it's so hard to stop. Rumination is not weakness. It's a survival mechanism that got stuck in the wrong loop. Your brain was built to solve problems. When something went wrong, it wants to understand why, so it doesn't happen again. That's useful. That's intelligent. The problem is when the problem has no solution, in the dark of a Wednesday at midnight, when there's nothing to be done right now, in this moment, and the brain keeps spinning like an engine that forgot to shut off. Epictetus said, "Of things good and bad, some things depend on us, others who do not." Rumination ignores that line completely. It mixes what you can change with what you cannot, and keeps you trapped exactly in between, paralyzed between the two. Think of a sailor who, after a storm, keeps staring at the rough sea instead of inspecting the boat. The storm has already passed. The boat is what matters now, but his eyes remain on the dark horizon. That is what happens to you. Every night, no one taught you how to end the day. They taught you to finish tasks, to meet goals, to go to sleep when your body couldn't take anymore. But the ritual of closing the day, of processing it with intention, of making peace with what happened, that was never in the curriculum. And so you developed the only mechanism you knew: revisit, repeat, try to solve in the dark what wasn't resolved in the light. And there's something even deeper. You ruminated because deep down, you believed that thinking was enough, that if you thought hard enough, the answers would come, that the pain would be proportional to the solution. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journals something that was never meant for anyone to read. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was emperor. He had real power over the world. And yet he knew that the only true dominion begins within. Rumination is the illusion of control. The examination of conscience is real control. There are 5 signs that you are ruminating instead of reflecting. See how many you recognize in yourself. Sign 1. You revisit the same scene multiple times, but every time you go back, you change something you said, some answer you gave. You are rewriting the past in a script that will never exist. Epictetus would say you are trying to control what has already left your domain. Sign 2. You go to sleep angry at someone, and the anger is more alive in the morning than it was at night. The night fed what it should have exhausted. Seneca warned, to let anger sleep with you is to let it wake up renewed. Sign 3. You catch yourself responding to arguments that never happen, arguing with people who don't even know they are being judged. You are in a phantom tribunal, done fighting an imaginary accusation and losing real sleep over it. Sign 4. When someone asks how your day was, you can't say. Not because it was bad, but because you didn't process it. You lived the day, but you didn't examine it. And what is not examined accumulates until it becomes noise. Sign 5. You wake up in the morning without rest, as sure as if you had worked all night. Because you did. You just didn't build anything. The ruminating mind is a laborer carrying stones with no destination. Marcus Aurelius would call this a waste to march of the only resource you truly have, the time that is yours. The Stoics had a nightly practice. It wasn't mystical, so it wasn't ritualistic in the modern sense. It was surgical. 3 questions, every day, without exception. First question, what did I do well today? Not to inflate the ego, to register what the Stoic would call action aligned with virtue. Seneca wrote this with honesty, without self-congratulation, an act of clarity, not of self-praise. Second question, what did I do wrong today? Not to punish yourself, to see. Epictetus taught that the unexamined mistake repeats itself. The examined mistake has a chance of becoming a lesson. The difference between the two is one honest question before sleep. Third question, what can I improve tomorrow? Not what you will fix in the past, what you will do differently in the future that still exists. So Marcus Aurelius ended his journals with intentions for the following day, not hopes. Intentions. 3 questions, 5 minutes. No music, there's no app, there's no voice guide. Just you and the day that passed. 5 years from now, will you still be awake at 2 in the morning, revisiting this day, or will you be sleeping with the conscience of someone who learned to close what needs to be closed? There is no comfortable middle ground here. Either you develop the capacity to examine your day with honesty, or the day will keep examining you while you try to sleep. Seneca, near the end of his life, wrote, "While I can, while I still live, while there is time, let me know my own nature." To know your own nature is not a weekend exercise. It is the work of every night. Reflection does not free you from pain. It teaches you to stand within it. Rumination keeps you bent, spinning, exhausted. The examination of conscience keeps you upright. Even when the weight is real, the choice is not made once. It is made every night when the light goes out and the silence begins. What will you do with that silence? If this video touched something real, or the like is not an automatic gesture, it's a sign that you recognize something true. And that sign matters, because it helps this channel keep reaching those who haven't found it yet. If you aren't subscribed yet, you might never subscribe now. So not for the algorithm, because this conversation doesn't end here. Every week there's a new layer, a new principle, a new tool that the Stoics left behind and that most people will never access. And before you sleep tonight, I want you to answer in the comments, Narshan, one thing only. One sentence, or it can be incomplete. Answer this. What is the thought, Surananda, that haunts you most when the light goes out? It doesn't need to be beautiful. It doesn't need to make complete sense, yet it just needs to be honest. See you next week. Stay strong.